What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Monday, October 2nd, 2022. Finally getting things rolling. You know how things are when you get older, shit takes longer to get moving. Can't get out of bed, that kind of shit. Anyway, got everything up and running here safely. So appreciate everybody being patient. I am very thankful for you joining me today. All right. We are talking about 3 burning questions. Usually burning is bad. In this case, you might be able to say the same thing, but if you're having burning issues, call your doctor. That reminds me, note to self. Let me write this down. Call Dr. Jingle Nuts. Burning sensation when I pee. Okay, thanks. All right, let's get into it, folks. Don't forget BuckeyeCast.com, 25% off everything. Those shirts are flying off the shelves. Well, not really flying, but we are having a good month. So keep it up and make sure you get your scores in for the Maryland game coming up on Saturday. Win yourself a t-shirt or a hat from the BuckeyeCast.com. You get to pick it. T-shirt, again, regular t-shirt, not the long sleeve tees. Those are like way more expensive. So, all right, let's get into my 3 burning questions. First of all, how long have you been feeling this sensation? No, that's the wrong questions. Sorry. Let me come back to that. All right. Number 1, what does the come from behind dramatic win at Notre Dame mean for Kyle McCord and the Buckeye offense? So Kyle proved that he can deliver under pressure. What was he, 10 of 13 on third downs, I believe. So he did it against a tough-ass Notre Dame defense. His confidence and Ohio State's offensive approach are kind of evolving and growing together week by week. Even though they only finished with 17 points against Notre Dame, some of the best offensive concepts like pass concepts and stuff from the offensive attack, and a large handful of the best throws from McCord came in 3rd and 4th down situations. Day said after the game that they need to look at why that was and how it might be more efficient in early down situations. So, if great, we're having success on 3rd and 4th downs. Yeah, but where was that shit on 1st and 2nd? Why are we getting in these 3rd and longs? That 3rd and 19 was a pain in the ass. And we're running into those 3rd and longs quite a bit right now. So we're kind of watching this process play out with Ryan Day and Kyle McCord and the entire offense, really. But there are signs that the Buckeyes can make leaps and bounds in the next 4 games. We got coming up, obviously, Maryland this week. But then after Maryland, we got Purdue. That should be a get healthy game, if you're a little dinged up or whatever. Then that's at Purdue. I don't care. I'm not worried about going to Purdue. I know what happened when Herb was coaching. Then we got Penn State and Columbus. That's going to be a really good measuring stick, like Notre Dame. So, but Penn State comes 4 weeks later. So you get to measure yourself again against a really good defense and a decent offense. I don't know. Drew Aller seems to be better at home than away, so that could be an issue for him. But you get these measuring sticks like every 4 weeks here, and then was it like about 6 weeks, five weeks after the Penn State game, you get the team up north game. So, and then you go. After Penn State, you go to Wisconsin, then to Rutgers. You got Sparty coming to Columbus, Minnesota coming to Columbus, and then you go to the shithole up north. So good measuring stick games, kind of keep you up to date, see where you've made those improvements and where you haven't. Next burning question. How hot does it get? No, sorry. How can Ryan Day solve the short yardage issues? We're not converting well on 3rd downs. On the season, I'll get back to you on that one. I should have brought that stat with me. I had it. God damn it. All right, I'll come back to that. Anyways, Ryan Day has tried a few new wrinkles. We saw those at Notre Dame in short yardage. None of them worked. It helps when only 10 dudes are on the field, though. I like that one. We should use that. But anyways, he knows the change is needed for the short yardage and the red zone offense. We've had these issues really since he got here with red zone and short yardage. It hasn't really gone away. Some quarterbacks have made it less of an issue, but even under CJ, we had those red zone issues. So anyway, putting in a defensive end at fullback like they did with Caden Curry, or putting an extra offensive lineman on the field has not gotten the job done. Probably one of the highest priorities for the coaching staff over this bye week was to come up with new ideas and probably practice those, rep those in practice, see how they work, if they work, But with Ohio State's talent, they can easily drive down the field at times, right? Drive on down the field, right? But they're 95th in the country in red zone offense. That's horrible. You cannot expect to win trophies being 95th in red zone offense. So it's not a good look. The schedule is going to get harder with 8 conference games from here on out without a break. No more buys, no more time off. 8 in a row, bang, bang, bang. That's what she said. So that's burning question number 2. Now, burning question number 3. Should the Buckeyes be concerned about the pass rush or lack thereof? Seems like Ohio State's been more content to play a bend but don't break defense. Remember, Jim Knowles was actually asked that a year ago, and he said, no, I would never play that. Well, that's kind of what we're doing right now. The Buckeyes are second in the nation in scoring defense. They've reduced the aggressiveness, not running those zero blitzes and shit like that. And it in order to limit those explosive plays, right? So, but in turn, right now, if it's related or not, we're not sure. There's a lack of individual wins against inferior competition. I'm talking the DNs going against their counterparts, the left tackle, right tackle, and they're just not getting wins, right? But sacks aren't the only stat here. The Buckeyes ranked second to last in the Big Ten with just 5. And PFF grades aren't, the end all be all. They aren't gospel, they're not perfect either. But if you compare pressure win percentages with Penn State, the Knits have 12 different defenders checking in with 15% or higher. That's really, really good. 15% is very good, a very good win rate. That means you're beating your man across from you 15% of the time. They got 12 dudes that are doing it. So they got guys coming off the bench fucking doing it. But the Buckeyes just have 4, and one of them is Kenyatta Jackson, who didn't even play a snap against Notre Dame. So that should be telling that it's just not good enough. Buckeyes are obviously playing great defense as a whole, on the whole, and that's clear on the scoreboard. The question is it sustainable without more of a pass rush? So these are my three big things that I'm concerned about. Ryan Day, Kyle McCord, getting this offense up to speed and being consistent first down through fourth down, and then the short yardage and red zone issues, and then the pass rush. These are the 3 things. We're kind of taking an early assessment of the Buckeyes that I'm concerned about. So hit me in the chat. Let me get in the comments here and see what's going on. What's happening, everybody? Oh, Billy in early. I love it. Bill was in at 3:55. He says, howdy casters. I saw Mark Nave decommitted. Yeah. He was told to. Yeah. Timper, what's up, Timper? Good to see you. It is hard for us to get linemen. That's why we got to get Seton. Whatever the number is, call up the foundation or the O or whatever, Oprah magazine, kick in some money, get Jordan Seton now. Well, he's not going to visit till November, but you know what I mean. That is an upside, though. Being late in the process, you know, the first signing day is like the first week of December, 1st or 2nd. So knowing the number you got to hit when he visits should be helpful. If you don't know what your target is, you know, how can you hit it or even attempt to come close? So that helps. Yeah, Billy says, yeah, we're down to 3 commits. Yep. We're likely going to have to start playing the portal game more seriously for both trenches. Yeah, that's a real thing. Temper says, I wonder why it's so hard for us to get good linemen. Has me worried, says Billy. Calling Joe. I'm here. Temper says, did you watch the Notre Dame Duke game? Temper, LOL. No, Billy says, I subjected myself to Sparty versus Indiana. Oh, God. Temper says they sacked Hartman quite a few times. Billy says, heard that. Makes me wonder about our line. Billy says Maryland has a balanced offense, not just about Talia passing. They'll test our D, especially the secondary. Yep. Temper says, yep. Jeremiah, what's up, Jeremiah? Good to see you. He says, hey, Joe, I feel that tough, gritty win over Oder Lane gives McCord and the Buckeyes teammates building confidence in the team and in themselves going forward. Let's go Buckeyes. All right. What's this badass Buckeye? What's up, Bab? He can't. It's all about the talent at center and guards. Temper says tight ends help in the red zone. Sure. Badass Buckeye. We need to keep Sawyer and JT in, which means we are seriously lacking at D ends. Yeah. Billy says seems like they're not giving Jackson or Melton much of a chance. Temper says, I don't think we had to. They just did. Jackson and Melton are good. Yeah. Do you remember back in, was it July when they had the Big Ten media days and Ryan Day did a shitload of interviews, you know, and he was all over, you know, YouTube and everywhere being interviewed by all the Buckeye beat guys. So he said specifically that we want our starters to play more. And I think that was a direct comment towards Larry Johnson and maybe the entire defense, but I think definitely the D line, you know, and so that's what happened against Notre Dame. I mean, the first 3 weeks against garbage teams, you can rotate dudes in there all freaking day, but in a Notre Dame game, Penn State game, Team Up North game, bowl game, whatever, he wants to have his guys, JT and Jack, on the field. And I think that we saw that play out against Notre Dame. JT and Jack played every single defensive snap. No Caden Curry in there at the end, no Kenyatta, nobody, no Abor. So I think Ryan Day and maybe, you know, some inching and maybe in some elbowing from Jim Knowles, because I think that's what Jim Knowles wants. He has said the same in the past. Oh, hey, please hit like on the video. Appreciate it. Anyway, Jim Knowles has said the same thing in the past. I know it was like when he first got to Ohio State, he was like, I like my starters to play a lot, you know. Yeah, Temper is echoing what I'm saying. Johnson was rotating them too much last season, and that was all across the D line, the tackles and the ends. So I think over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see more rotation along the lines, especially on defense, of course, and you're going to see more when we get to the Penn State game, more Jack and JT, you know, almost playing the entire game. It goes kind of against what Larry says. You know, Larry likes to give them so many snaps per game. He doesn't want to blow them out in one game. But I think if you play them a full game, like 65 plays against Notre Dame, then you give them maybe 50% duty this week against Maryland, maybe even, I don't know, 65% of the total plays this week. Give them a third of the game off, barring, I mean, if you're in a fucking nail biter, then obviously you got to play them more. But in the second half, especially after the third quarter, this should not be a close game. You know, it's like an 18, 19 point spread. So you should have guys chilling, kick back, getting a hot dog and some Gatorade on the bench by the time the fourth quarter rolls around. And especially Jack and JT. So you let them chill out for the next 2 weeks against Maryland and Purdue, and then you get them ramped back up, you know, for the week of Penn State. Then again, when you get to the Wisconsin game, you probably need a little bit more of them. But then against Rutgers, Michigan State, and Minnesota, get them out by the freaking fourth quarter at latest. You can't tell me those are going to be close games at the end of the third quarter. I won't buy that shit, man. But I think that's what you got to do. And again, I agree with Ryan Day. Play your starters. They're your starters for a reason, right? I mean, play those guys in the big matchup games. Back to the chat. Now I need some water. Hold up. Temper says Johnson was rotating too much. Yeah. Billy says, but you can't have guys gassed at the end of big games. Temper says, right. I agree. So if you need to rotate them out for a handful of plays in the big games, I get it. I understand. But you want them playing 90 to 95% of that game, you know, especially when it's a nail biter like the Notre Dame game. You know, what if JT was not in on that last series? Do those plays get made? Do they sack Hartman? Does somebody knock down that screen pass? I kind of doubt it. There's no guarantees of that. But I understand there's a case to be made to keep them fresh throughout the game. You just, I don't know. It's a delicate balance, I know, to you get the most out of your studs, out of your starters, you know, throughout a big game, all the way through you want them to finish the game for you. But at the same time, you know, does it do you any good if your guys are nice and fresh at the end of a loss to Notre Dame? Seems like you would have some regrets there. I know I would. Yeah, I know Coach Johnson would never hear the end of it, you know. But short yardage, something I'm kind of interested in. I was going to look up the third downs per game we're running into, our third down conversions, and the percentages here. So Ohio State's running into 89th in the country, 13 third downs per game. So they're averaging 13 third downs. All right. Where that lands in the country doesn't really matter. I mean, who cares? Now, third down conversions per game, Buckeyes are 59th, 5.7. That's not great. You know, if you're getting into a lot of third downs, you need to convert those, right? Fourth downs per game, we're getting into 2.7. That's 23rd in the country. And then fourth down conversions, 1.7. That's 13th in the country. So we're doing well on fourth down conversions. So our percentages, I could have done the math, but why do that when there's a website that does it for me? Buckeyes third down conversion really needs to come up. This percentage is 44%. That's 40th in the country. I don't see why we can't be up around 60%. Number one is 58% with North Carolina. So Buckeyes definitely can get up around 60 to 65 without breaking a sweat, in my opinion. And then fourth down conversions doing really well. 36 in the country at 63%. So leading, our teams that just have like one fourth down they went for. So definitely an area to pick up and get some conversions going. And then the red zone scores. So our attempts per game, red zone scoring, 56 in the country, 3.7 red zone attempts. Now, total scores per game is only 3. That's 49th. Percentage is 82%. That's 71st in the country. So 82%, when you're in the red zone, you got to punch it in. That means we're going for it. When we get in there, like we did against Notre Dame, and we're not getting any points out of it. So go for it on fourth down, like 4th and 1. Don't get it, end up with 0 points. So that is certainly not what you hope for. Back to the chat here. Temper says a tired player is an ineffective player, right? It's the player's, duty, his responsibility to tell you if he's tired and needs to come out. I mean, a coach could probably eyeball that to some degree from the sideline. But again, if the player does not tap his helmet and say, hey, I need to come out for a blow, you gotta trust him, Billy says Talia has been interception prone, but seems better this year. They played nobody. We have to get some INTs Saturday. Yeah, I agree 100%. And Talia's been known to throw some picks over the years, right? He might be a little bit better this year, but yeah, I'm not too worried. I don't know. The guy's, what is this? His fucking 6th year? Seriously. Dude. He still does not do a lot for me anyways. I don't know. Completion percentage is up, so that's good. He's at 65.7%, 8.7 average, 13 TDs, 3 picks. Again, don't forget who they're playing against. When we talk about their opponents, and how do you gauge these guys? They haven't played anybody, but they gave up 3 picks and 3 sacks to garbage teams. He's almost got 1,500 yards. The 13 TDs are nice. Not a lot of rushing from him. He's got 14 carries, 68 yards. That's a 4.9 average. Does have a 23-yarder and 3 touchdowns. So they like to give him a keeper there down around the red zone, down around the goal line. So that's good. But I don't know, man. I just see he seems like the same dude every year, and he doesn't really improve much. I'm not sure Loxley is a great QB developer anyways, going back to 2021, he had a 69% completion percentage. 2022, 67%. So he's actually down 1% this year. He had over 3,000 yards in 22, 3,800 in 2021, 26 TDs in 2021, but then only 18 TDs last year, 11 picks in 2021, 8 in 22. So kind of seeing a downgrade from the past to this year. And they got an interesting schedule coming up here. I was just checking that out. Come on, Maryland, show me what you got. All right. Yeah. Beating on Indiana, Michigan State, Virginia, and then FCS teams does not impress me whatsoever. But then they got Illinois after us. That's going to be a tough one, even though it's at, what's the name of Maryland Stadium? Turtle Dome. or something. I don't know. Anyway, then at Northwestern, that's a win. Then Penn State. So you got the Buckeyes, Illinois, and Penn State in the next 4 weeks. Yikes. At Nebraska is no problem. Michigan, that'll be a big problem. And then at Rutgers defense is a little better. But back to the chat here. Billy says our O should get better with Kyle's confidence and the maturing of the line. Hopefully Day's play calling will get better. Yeah, I think that's the key, right? I mean, you got to kind of marry the two. Kyle's maturity and experience. Oh, hey, please hit like on the video before you leave. Thank you. Kyle's maturity merging with Ryan Day's play calling. You know, not all plays work for every quarterback. So it's a matter of, you know, kind of refining that playbook down to what works best with Kyle. You know, it might not be the same stuff that worked for CJ or for Justin Fields, you know. Timper says, and tighten our coverage. Our run game up the middle sucks. Okay. Billy says, it seems our interior linemen aren't getting off the first blocks and getting to the linebackers and safeties. Yeah. Well, the right side of the Buckeye line is the strong suit. The center, Hinsman, and the left side are the weakest link right now. I don't know what's going on with Donovan Jackson. Could be the fact that he's got a new guy to his left at left tackle and then a new guy at center to his right. So maybe that's making Donovan look bad. I don't know. He's definitely not playing as well as he did last year. Jeremiah says our 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 conversions, we need to convert those. Yes, sir. Convert when the game is on the line makes us need heart medication. Yes, we all do need heart medication. Yes, I just drink more, typically. You could bite your nails, whatever. Timper says, yeah, most of our yards come off the edge. Exactly. To the right side. Mike Green, how you doing, Mike Green? Nice to meet you. Kyle can't throw downfield. That is a huge problem. I don't think you can say he can't throw downfield. They haven't done a lot of it. I have his chart right here. I can share with you guys through 4 weeks. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. This is Kyle's depth and location chart through the first 4 weeks. Share it. Here you go. Okay, so yeah, most teams don't throw a lot of deep balls. I mean, deep balls are sexy. That's what she said. And who doesn't love going balls deep? But anyways, back to the task at hand. A lot of teams don't throw too many balls over 20 yards. You know, right here in the first 4 weeks, Kyle has attempted 11. He's completed 5. Not terrible. I mean, you got to admit that throws over 20 yards are much lower in completion percentage, you know. Therefore, people don't try them a lot. Now, from 10 to 20 yards, that's where you get a little bit more action. Over on the right side, though, I can't explain this 1 out of 7 for 12 yards. I don't know what to tell you there. I cannot figure that shit out. You know, with a young O-line that's very inexperienced and an inexperienced quarterback, you're going to see this 0 to 10 right down the middle of the field utilized a lot. I could go back and get you JJ McCarthy's pass chart from last year. It would look very similar. They were not throwing the ball over 10 yards ever. And they were throwing it a lot behind the line of scrimmage. But you can see right here, right around the line of scrimmage is where the Buckeyes are living right now. You've got from behind the line to 10 yards, you've got 32 pass completions out of 34. It's a good percentage, right? That's why they do it. So Buckeyes gotta keep with it, you know. go with what works. If teams are taking away the middle, you're going to have to start spreading the ball to the outside. And it looks like this 10 to 20 yards to the right is an area of concern, but not sure what's going on there. So I would look for the Buckeyes to continue to spread the ball around, and you're going to get your deep throws here and there, shot plays to Marv, stuff like that. Let me get back in the chat. Let's see. All right. Appreciate you, Mike. What else you got on your minds tonight? We are taking calls, by the way. I might have forgotten to mention that. Phone number is scrolling above my head. You got to enter after you enter the phone number, you got to enter the meeting and the passcode. Billy says, I think Hope will see very confident Kyle from now on. I think you got to, right? I mean, there's nothing stopping him from increasing his performance every week, and especially against Maryland, who's not a great defense, and then Purdue, definitely not a great defense, even though their coach is a defensive coordinator, came from Illinois. You still are going to be able to do what you want as a quarterback. So need to get a lot of things practiced, repped, and perfected before that Penn State game. That is a real defense. Yeah. Show you what I mean. Penn State is third in the country in points per game, allowing 10.3. And then number one in the country in yards per game allowed. They allow 228 per game. Number one. Buckeyes are seventh with 262. That's not really close. So we got to get some things shored up here. Short yardage, red zone on offense. And that goes hand in hand with Kyle and being more efficient on first and second down. And then, of course, pressure on defense, getting those sacks, getting the pressures. Jack and JT are doing well at getting the pressures. They're just not getting a guy to the ground. That's the frustrating part. They're so freaking close. So freaking close. I think both of them have about 10 pressures total on the season. Pass rush. Yeah, total pressures. JT and Jack both with 10. That's leading the team, by the way. Michael Hall Jr.'s got 7. Eichenberg with 6 coming on the blitz. Kenyatta with 4. Tyleek with 4 right up the gut. So you're getting some good pressure up the middle from Tyleek and Mike Hall. Both of them have a single sack. Eichenberg has a sack, still nothing from Jack and JT. Mitchell Melton even has a sack, a couple pressures, even with his limited snaps. He's only been in there for 10 pass rush snaps. Ty Hamilton with a couple pressures and a hit. So it's happening. It's like last year, seems like a carbon copy. Remember Zach Harrison was just a hair away from getting dudes, a quarterback letting go of the ball and just could not get him on time. Yeah, that's a good point, Billy. Penn State did play Iowa. Yeah, it does help your defense look good against them. I'll give you that. For sure. Penn State also played Northwestern. That doesn't matter. At Illinois. Now, that's a tough ball game. That's a good defense. They did put up 30 on Illinois. At Illinois. Yeah. So I'd say that's a legit game. Putting up 31 on Iowa is kind of surprising. I thought Iowa's defense was still good. That seems pretty good. What else is happening? What do you guys want to talk about? I'm curious to see how they solve this short yardage situation. You know, do you come out in an I formation? You know, put Chip in there at fullback, and they tried doing that with Caden Curry last week. They brought in Luke Montgomery as an extra tight end on the end of the line, and then they had Caden Curry at fullback, and Mayan was the tailback, and he got stuffed for no gain. That was at 4th and 1 at the Notre Dame 1. So didn't get it done there. I don't know. Maybe we need to find a legit fullback option. Chip can kind of do it. You know, he's got the size. He could be a little bigger, but he's similar size to our guy last year, Mitch Rossi. So see how they do that. I'm very curious. Obviously, just adding an extra tight end to the field doesn't seem to do much. We're just not getting the push there. I would run behind the right side of the line every time, though. But again, eventually, people are gonna, catch on to that. Yeah, Billy, a QB keeper is good. I think if you're at 4th and 1 at the 1, you got to run a QB keeper. And, get the running backs behind him, pushing him, the Bush push. Everybody else does it. It doesn't seem to be against the rules at all. So why not try it? Yeah. Just have the QB stand upright, get him up against the backs of those O linemen, and bring in, have Mayan and Chip in the backfield, just run up and push Kyle into the end zone. It seems easy, right? Am I crazy? Find a little crease in there. I know you don't want your quarterback to get hurt, but if you keep him upright, you should be okay. Yeah, but you could run that 4th and 1. Hell, I think if you can't, you should be able to get 2 yards, with a QB keeper. More than that, it's kind of a bit much to ask, but yeah, I would love to see a QB keeper. It's not like we have small quarterbacks, they're the size of some linebackers in college football. So yeah. I do hope we get these offensive issues solved. I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. As long as we get the O-line in order on the left side, things will fall into place. And same with Hinsman up the middle. He's got to be stronger. Kind of winding down here. The chat has quieted down a bit, but appreciate everybody joining me today. We're going to talk some recruiting this week. Probably Wednesday's rush hour. I think we'll talk some recruiting. We'll get back in and check on, what our commits have been doing this past few weeks. We took a little break from talking recruiting on the updating their games and stuff. So let's see how some dudes are doing the last few weeks in their high school games. And we got some visitors coming in for the Maryland game. I'll have that list updated. And Friday, obviously, we'll talk Terps, talking Terpies. So appreciate everybody joining today. Who's visiting this weekend? I'm working on that list for you, Billy. I can tell you a very short list right now. Tavian St. Clair, every time there's a home game, just know Tavian St. Clair, the 2025 quarterback from Bellefontaine, will be there. He's going to be there every weekend when it's a home game. You also got Indiana defensive back Mark Zachary. He's a 25 guy. And then you got a 2026 Ohio defensive back Victor Singleton. He will be there. And I'm just seeing that Blake Woodby will be in Columbus this weekend. He's a defensive back. Michigan 2025 offensive lineman. He's a 4-star. Avery Gatch will be making the trip this weekend. He's 6'5", 275. He was at a Buckeye camp back in June. I got Chance Robinson probably coming for the Penn State game. That's going to be a huge one, recruiting wise. I'll keep an eye on that one. So, yeah, those are the guys I have right now. Cage Payne, also have him. So, yeah, he's from Mason, Ohio. So that's what I got coming in this weekend so far. I'm sure that will be fluid. So I have an updated list on Wednesday, hopefully. And then if there's any changes, I'll let you guys know on Friday. So appreciate you guys. All right, I'm going to bounce. I'll talk to you guys later. Go Bucks.